Hi Earthlings, I'm Trice, and in this video, I am going to be sharing with you 6 abundance hacks to make the law of attraction work faster, make more money, love, and joy roll into your life faster than you can say hell yes. So let me ask you a question before I get started. Do you feel like you've been grinding? Do you feel like you're a hard worker, but you stay stuck in the exact same spot no matter what you do? Well, here's an abundance hack. If that's happening to you, you have a hidden money block. I have a free worksheet in the description below that you can download to showcase how to remove it. But if you don't remove these, it is hard to get ahead no matter how much hard work and elbow grease you put into the situation. And one of the most common money blocks is a scarcity mindset. And how you know if you have that is no matter what happens, maybe you keep getting richer, but you still have that deep-seated fear inside you that you're going to lose it all, or something's going to come along and bankrupt you or take it away. That's a good example of a money block. And I don't know if that resonates with you, or if you're like, that's all woo, woo, woo. It's just about elbow grease and putting your nose to the proverbial grindstone. But recently on Netflix, I was watching The Last Dance docuseries about the Chicago Bulls. And in episode 2, you should watch it if you want to see this money block, they were interviewing Scottie Pippen. Now, if you don't know who Scottie Pippen is, I'll give you a miniature backstory. He was a basketball player on the Chicago Bulls at the same time Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman were. He grew up poor. He grew up with 12 brothers and sisters. His older brother, when he was about 6, was in a wrestling accident and got paralyzed. And when Scottie was about 12, his dad had a stroke on the kitchen floor and became wheelchair bound. These 2 events, as well as the poverty, really shaped his life and his choices. And you're going to see this hidden money block of scarcity when I tell you the second half. He signed a basketball contract with the Chicago Bulls for 5 years, a contract for 5 years. Now, to put that in perspective, the average basketball player's career is 4.5 years. So it's almost like he tied up his whole career, potential career, under one contract. And that contract was for $18 million. Now, don't let the million throw you, because I know it's a heap of money and everything. But as it turned out, Scottie was getting paid 8 or 9 times less than almost all the other players at his skill level. When he was playing with Michael Jordan, he was one of the top 5 basketball players in the world, and he was getting paid 122nd rating. He was down the roster by 122 people. Now, what happened is this created a big sense of resentment in Scottie, feeling like the world did not honor and respect his value and worth. And it made him start to hate playing for the Bulls, hate playing for the game, and finally insisted upon getting traded off the team. So not only did it cause him to lose money, that might not be the most important thing, it caused this emotional destruction and turmoil, and it eroded against his personal value and self-worth in a way. And why I really think this was a money block is Scottie said he couldn't take the risk of not signing a 5-year contract. You could just say he was risk adverse, but what I heard in that, and this is my interpretation, is that he was operating from a scarcity mindset. I better get everything that I can get now, because all this good fortune will go away and I'll never have another opportunity to claim it. So if you've been pounding the pavement, grinding your gears, and staying stuck, I'm going to bet 10 cents, my friend, it is a hidden money block. And once you see it, you can release it and change it to something new. Now, this second hack to attract more abundance into your life is so fun, so easy, so magical, you're going to want to do it all the time. The second abundance hack is to set an intention and then watch for signs from the universe and see your desire unfold. Now, this has made me hundreds of thousands of dollars. It landed me my dream husband. It works on everything. This is how you do it. You simply set out your intention. For example, I was working at a bar in New York City and it was dying. It just was dying. I knew it was dying. Everybody else knew it was dying. So I set my intention to work at a swanky, upscale New York City bar because I knew that it would be a leap in income. So I just set that intention. I didn't look in the classifieds. I didn't do anything like that. I set the intention and then looked for signs in my current reality. Now, I was marching along with my actor friend. We were just marching along down in the village somewhere, and he bumped into his friend that said she just got a hostess position at this swanky nightclub. And I said, well, are they hiring bartenders? And she says, I don't know. But I rang them up. I gave them her name and said I ran into her and she just got a job. And do they have a job for me? They let me fill out the paperwork and take the test. And what they said was, well, we really don't have any positions available. However, we have this crappy Monday night shift, and if you want it, you can take it. Ask yourself, would you take it? Do you see how I'm just following the thread? I took it, and for the first 2 or 3 months, I was standing in my high heels for 12 hours earning peanuts, like $150 or $200 a night. And peanuts, I know that's a lot of money, but I thought I would be earning thousands of dollars. But then a shift opened on one of the hot nights, and there came the loot, the $1,000. And I only got to the $1,000 a night by following the thread, setting out my intention, and then following the signs from the universe. And no sign, just to be clear, was saying, hey, Trice, your $1,000 a night is right here. It was, meh, you could try. But I just kept bing, 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 and it led me straight there, practically effortlessly. The same thing happened when I was manifesting my husband. I decided that I wanted to get married. It just was a bulb in my head overnight. It was such an epiphany. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to get married. So I celebrated this fact. I thought it was so exciting. I decided to throw myself a wife in training birthday party and ask for things that I thought would be great when you had a husband, pots and pans for cooking and all these kinds of things. Now, I did that just to put out the intention to the universe, not to actually cook. The ironic thing is that my husband is a great cook and he loves using the pots and pans that I asked for at that birthday for him. But since I had put out the intention, my friends were aware that I wanted to get married. So that's how I found my husband. My roommate said, hey, Trice, I hear you're looking for a husband and I'm going to this party. It says dress to impress. So get something on. Let's go. And I did. And I saw him there. I introduced myself because I said, he looks like something that I want to be a part of. And 93 days later, he proposed. Do you see how I just put out the intention and followed the thread? I said yes to my roommate's invitation. It works on all things, love, money, children, anything you can think of. Now this next hack, you're probably going to hate me for if you're an American. The third abundance hack to attract more abundance into your life is to dress the part. Now, I know in the culture of sweatpants and t-shirts, that is not sexy advice. But dressing the part does not mean you have to run around in party clothes, or you have to be uncomfortable, or you have to wear something 3 sizes too small, or you have to show your bosoms, or whatever the heck. It doesn't mean anything like that. The problem with dressing is it comes off as superficial and not a big deal. But if you think of it like this, more as a silent statement of how you're telling the world to treat you. For example, imagine you're going on a date. It doesn't matter with who, it's just a human. But the person shows up with like a mustard stain on their shirt and it's all wrinkled, it kind of smells bad, maybe they haven't washed it in a couple days. You're gonna kind of think that they didn't care very much. That's what's going to be implied. Even though their clothes have nothing to do with you, that's the message that will be put off, because maybe they don't care that much about their clothes or appearance. But that feeling or that energy transfers to the person that they're meeting. They don't care that much about me. That's the message that will be sent. So when I say dress the part for the message that you would like to be sent. For example, over COVID, I rent all my clothes. I don't own any clothes. Like I said, I'm a minimalist. I rent all my clothes, and I rent them from this company called Rent the Runway. And I did not think that they shipped them to Montana. So I bought the 3 outfits that I currently had from them and wore those over and over. And I thought that'd be fine. But my soul started to cry. Now think of it, guys. It's COVID. Nobody's seeing me. I'm not going out anywhere. I was simply hanging out with myself and my family. So there was nobody to impress. But I dress for a party. Life is a celebration. Whether I'm reading a book, I'm having a cup of tea, I'm having a cup of champagne, Obama calls, I don't know. I'm ready to celebrate. And that's what my clothes or my appearance or my dress say about me. Or that's what the message that I'm conveying to myself. So you can tell me how it's reflected. So to try it on yourself, ask yourself, how have you been dressing? Are you dressing for comfort, just to get by? Do you not care about it? And see if that's reflected back to you in your other interactions. Oh, I don't care about my job. Oh, I don't care about the people around me. All things are the same thing. So if you send one type of message to yourself, you will be sending the same message to the world. Now, for all you secret, mysterious people here at the end, I have saved my best law of attraction abundance hack for last. It just made my client $100,000. The 4th abundance hack is a negotiation tactic that I call the big ask. It is so simple to do, but you might not find it easy unless you practice. Like my clients, they have been house hunting for almost a year. They had found a couple that they fell in love with, but nothing was compared to the palace on the hill that they found a week ago. It was magical. It had a vineyard, it had a view, it had a river, it had everything. They were brave. Even though their heart was thumping, they would have done anything to get this house. They implemented the big ask by asking for $200,000 off the asking price. It was a mega amount, and the house had already been dropped $300,000. And of course they said no, which was fine. They always do that. But what that does is it bends the other person's reality. And so when they came up $100,000, the seller said yes, saving them $100,000. They were willing to pay full asking. Now, if you don't see how it bends somebody's reality, a really quick way would be like, my service costs $500 a month. So imagine I started off and said, my service costs $1,000 a month, but for you, I'm going to give it to you for $500. You would feel like you're getting a deal. Flip that, and let's say I said my service costs $50 a month usually, but I just raised my prices and now they cost $500 a month. All of a sudden, the same $500 looks expensive. It's this simple trick that bends the reality of what people see and how they feel. If it can make these people $100,000 with no training, no practice, no nothing, just the courage to ask big, then you can do it too from no matter where you're standing. Now, if you have any other abundance hacks, please leave them in the description below. And until next time, I kiss you. Ciao.